Well, I think that was probably easier because with Nick, a lot of people didn't want him.
No.
You know, he'd been in England, he'd been in the Premier League. He'd messed up a little bit with his brother. I think his brother was pushing him a bit too far at times as his agent, and you know, saying do things for the family. This you know, you've got to help for the family and all this. But he had a time when he went to Fenerbahce. I got a message from a youth agent. I knew the boy from Paris. He was from Paris, and he rang me one day and said his name is Salem Kassa, and Salem said to me, Dave, you know, Nick's not very happy over in Fenerbahce, and he's wanting to come back to England. And I said, I don't think the manager would like him. He's been a bit moody and a bit off in his playing in the Premier League. And he said, let me tell you this. He said, I grew up with him in the streets of Paris. He said, I grew up with him as a young kid, and he had a tough upbringing. He said, but he was pushed about by his agent at the time. And he said he was moving from club to club, Arsenal, Manchester City, you know, on loan at Liverpool. And he just told me the story. He said, look, he's grown up. He's met Barbara, who's a choreographer, a dancer and a choreographer, and he seems to have fallen in love. He's changing religion, and he's not got the same agent anymore. And he says, you know, do you think that Bolton might be able to buy him? And I said, well, really does depend on the fee. And when I think they said, was it £7 million? I think £7 million, €8 million or something at the time. So I told the gaffer this, and a lot of Sam's manager mates, you know, Brian Robson and people like that, and they all said, don't take him. No, he's never going to be any good. He won't change his attitude. Blah blah blah. But I kept saying, gaffer, he's changed. We've got to forget that bit. You know, we need a striker who can score 20 goals a season. You know, I says he can do that. We know he can. He's got all the class in the world. He said, well, look, stop moaning, get on a plane, you get out and watch him a couple of times. He says, go and watch him at Fenerbahce. Don't let anybody know you're going, just get out there and go and watch him. So I watched him a couple of times, and his attitude was spot on. And I thought, this is far different to what other people saw in him. Because his attitude had changed, and he was wanting to get married, and, you know, It was good then, because I was one of the first, because I'd got the heads up from this agent. And sure enough, during that summer, we signed him for $7-8 million. And what a breath of fresh air he was. He was quiet. Yes, he was quiet. A quiet Muslim boy, but he just got on with his job, and he scored goals for us. I think he got 21 goals that year. You know, he was fantastic. So much so that not only being good in that way, when I moved from Bolton to Chelsea, I continued to tell Chelsea to sign him. And Chelsea did sign him eventually. But it was me that started that off, because I knew this new attitude in him. And other scouts and other chief scouts at other clubs didn't know that. You know, so at Bolton, we doubled our money then. I think we sold him for 15 million then to Chelsea. Then he went on to score 20 odd goals for Chelsea. So, in my view, that is the best I could have done, really. You know, and full marks to him. He was getting married that year, and because he'd done so well at Bolton during the summer when he got married, he offered the chance for anybody on the staff at Bolton, not just coaching staff, you know, not like Sam and his wife to go out but he was having 3 days celebrations in Marrakesh, and he offered a 5-star hotel for 3 days. Anybody who wanted to go, put your name down on the list. I'll pay for it all. Now, you know that, and you know, he put things on. he put things on in Marrakesh as well during the day for us. So not only paying for all the hospitality, but he coach rides into Marrakesh Centre and things, on the horse and carriage. And, he was brilliant. And a lot of my cynical friends, when they came back, said, well, he's got all that money, he can afford to do it. I said, he has, but he didn't need to say that to the Bolton people.
No.
He didn't need to say that to us all. He went out and spent his money. So I've always got a lot of respect for Nick in that, Yeah, definitely.
Did he need any persuading joining Bolton?
What, did he need any?
Yeah, did he need, how much persuading did he need?
That was a strange one as well, because we had to do a sneaky one, and I flew out from somewhere. Sam flew back from Germany. I think he was doing some commentating during the summer, one of the tournaments, and we flew to Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris and met Nick. We met Nick there, and the main thing I liked about Nick that day was we sat in a meeting with him and he listened to every word that Sam said. He stared at Sam in the eyes and listened to him. We put this everything together, that where he could live, and the IT boys put a video film of various things, the best things about Bolton and Manchester, and and where he might be able to live in Cheshire, what he might be able to do there, and so we did a good job. But the main thing was Nick never took his eyes off Sam. When Sam was speaking, he was just staring at him and listening to him, and because he is a deep man, and afterwards Sam says, I'm not sure where we're going with this one. He said, what do you think? I said, he listened to every single word you said. So I said, I bet you will get him. And Sam rang me up a couple of days later and said he signed it. So it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It was that was a really satisfying one.
Yeah, I can imagine. Was he a player? Oh, yeah, definitely. But was he a player that could have won the Ballon d'Or?
I suppose that in his day, yeah, he could have done, but I think his attitude let him down from previous clubs, But even that year, maybe at Bolton, he maybe he could have done, but it wasn't big enough then, was it, Bolton? Or,
No.
Got to be at a big club, but I think he got the ability. He got the ability to do that, and the class, Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.